We had an interesting question submitted that I think would help all of us look at our less than best behavior and repair any unintended damage that we might have committed on the heart, the mind, or the spirit of others. The question comes in from Randy Hansen. He writes, after listening to a previous Darren Daily on how our example is mimicked by our team, members, peers, kids, I realize how badly I have messed up. Is there a way to reverse this process and fix what I don't want to be repeated? Well, I would say first off, you're not alone, Randy. You are surrounded by 7.8 billion other sinners or fallible humans who regularly screw up. To be human is to be imperfect and error-prone. We like to call it here on our A-team, flossom. To pretend you're anything but imperfect, to expect others to be anything but imperfect, that I would say is one's greatest sin, the sin of self-delusion and ignorance. So first off, give yourself some grace. We all screw up. It's okay, particularly if you do what's next. And that is admit it, confess, own it, say you're sorry. I know it seems simple, but apparently it is incredibly difficult for humans to do these days. Oddly, and I say ironically, because of the terrible examples that we've seen demonstrated at the highest levels of our human tribe. We've watched incompetent and emotionally inept politicians make egregious errors that negatively affect the lives of millions and never admit fault or take responsibility. Athletes, entertainers, and executives who cheat and then bold-faced lie about it. Religious leaders who condemn others. Those who even preach the sacrament of confession, reconciliation, and penance, only to find out they are the greatest perpetrators of those condemnations, but then still deny and cover up the truth. Their first rule of mistakes is never talk about mistakes. And that is a terrible, terrible example. This is still a patriarchal Cold War authoritarian hangover, where it is thought that admitting mistakes or saying sorry was a sign of weakness. They believed that it would damage their faux reputation and imagined credibility. But the opposite is true. It takes a strong, conscientious, and competent leader to identify and then admit when they are wrong and own up to it. And admitting to mistakes actually makes us more credible. It shows that we know and that we own it. Thus, we can be trusted to fix it and be better for it. Hey, look, when you screw up, when you try to deceive, everybody knows you screwed up. They know you're full of BS. You're not as clever and as wily as you think. People are a lot more transparent to people than people think. And if you deny it or dismiss it, now we know we cannot trust anything you say or do. That's not strength. That's weakness. That is not wise. That is infantile. And you lose all credibility, trust, and respect in that scenario. And this is the reason we have seen such an erosion in trust in government, in public health institutions, law enforcement, corporations, and religious organizations. I think it began on August 9th, 1974, when Nixon gave the peace sign and boarded Air Force One in disgrace for his final flight out of Washington, D.C. What you think you are doing to protect your authority and credibility is exactly what destroys it. Admitting mistakes and owning up to our responsibility also demonstrates our humanity. We connect better and care about those who show themselves to be human, a wonderfully flawsome, but conscientious, competent, and responsible human. So, the best thing you can do to fix the mistakes your poor example has made and start reversing the process is to own up to your mistakes. Confession is the first step in the process of atonement. Here's what you do. Let's say you have been hard on or distant or temperamental with your team over the past little while. Just bring your team together, face to face, in person, or virtually, and it doesn't matter, and then confess. You might say something like, I need to acknowledge some mistakes that I have been making. I really care about each of you. I care about this team. I care about the work that we do together. And I admit, I have been doing a terrible job at showing you. I have been screwing up as a leader, and I am sorry. And then detail the specifics of what you have done wrong so that they really do know that you really do know. Now, a huge tip here. This is where people really screw this up. Don't give an excuse. No story, no justification, no reason why. Just own it completely. Your part. Own it 100%. It doesn't matter what somebody else did. And it doesn't matter what you were thinking or what you were feeling or what your original intentions might have been. Own your behavior and its consequences entirely. Next is to outline exactly what you plan to do to fix anything that is fixable and what you will do going forward to prevent the same errors going forward. This will restore confidence. The next is to ask for their help. You can say, I ask you to hold me to account. If you see me slipping, please come to me. My commitment to you is to work diligently at becoming better every day. This will enroll them emotionally as your ally. They will now be on your support team, supporting and rooting for you. And then finally, ask for their forgiveness. Say it simply, will you please forgive me? Ask for their affirmation. This will begin the process of trusting you again. So the simple 4-part framework is this. Admit your mistake, give details, what you will do to fix it or prevent it, ask for help, ask for forgiveness. If you're Catholic, you will know this as confession, contrition, penance, absolution. Except you don't have to climb into a dark closet, get on your knees, and talk to an old scary guy through a screen sitting in a robe. And no number of Our Fathers or Hail Marys will absolve you from your sins in the real world. You have to actually do the work of fixing and repairing the damage that you've done to others. Also, understand this. Mistakes and then admitting to them are a real leadership and relational opportunity. It's an opportunity to get real, to open yourself up, to be vulnerable, to let others in. It's a real opportunity to connect people to you. The most attractive thing to humans is the open demonstration of humanness. We are all imperfect. And when you demonstrate the strength and the courage and the vulnerability of your human imperfection, it is insanely attractive to other humans. It's the basis of all human connection. So, admitting to your mistakes is a real opportunity to build trust, to emotionally endear yourself to your team, to your spouse, to your vendors, to your clients, to your kids, the entire tribe around you. So, keep this simple 4-point framework in your head forever. When you screw up, think, admit with details, what you will do, ask for help, ask for forgiveness. Think, admit, do, ask. Help and forgiveness. Admit, do, ask. Help and forgiveness. Got it? Okay. How about you? Who in your life right now do you need to admit mistakes and ask for forgiveness? Write their name down in your Darren Daily journal. Spell out your 4-point framework dialogue and tell us who and for what reason in the comments below. Remember, confession is the first step to absolution. So, confess below. If you enjoyed this Darren Daily on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to Darren Daily by clicking the button on the screen. There you will find a new video every workday to give you one tip or idea to jumpstart your day. Subscriptions are absolutely free of charge. All that I ask is that you like and share this video. Thanks, and I'll see you right back here on Monday.